Hello everybody, my name is Alex Schiller and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about cameras and which one might be right for you. It's literally my favorite thing to talk about gear, so let's get started. What having the right camera for you boils down to is what you're going to be putting that camera through every time you hit record. I used to have a friend who always wanted me to go on hikes and rock climbing and explore the wilderness of Arizona with him, and honestly I loved every minute of it. But when he asked me every single time to bring my Canon C100 because it was the nice, big, fancy cinema camera so we could record our adventures, it didn't make any sense. It wasn't practical, it was big, it was heavy, it was large, it was bulky. It hurt my back every single time we took it on a hike. And when I started taking my GoPro on those situations instead of taking my cinema camera, I was more inclined to take more shots. I was more inclined to take B-roll. I felt that it was just perfect for these situations. I could stick it on his head when he went on rock climbing. It just made sense for the situation. And what I'm trying to boil that conversation down into is choose the camera that is right for you and the situations you're going to be putting it through. I developed 4 little categories that are normal YouTube videos that people tend to buy cameras for. And so hopefully this will help you better choose the camera that will suit your needs for your videos. Vlogging is the first and one of the most important categories on YouTube, and one of the things that you should consider being able to do even if you choose to do any of the other categories I talk about today, because vlogging is becoming a more essential part of YouTube every single day because you're capturing a moment of not only who you are, but what's going on around you. And it's the most common thing that people can relate to that makes for amazing content. The main idea to think about when vlogging is how easy the camera is to use, how easy the camera is to just pull out and hit record. If you're worried about all of these accessories that you have to put on, lights, gimbals, like microphones, stuff like that, it's gonna take away from the experience you're actually having because you say, hold on, wait a minute, and then you do all this, and then the movement becomes inorganic again. It's the only time that I've ever seen a vlog work where it was staged is David Dobrik, but that's because he builds it into a comedic bit kind of skit lifestyle. It's not vlogging at its core. And that's why I always recommend cell phone cameras for those people who don't necessarily want to invest in a camera to do a lifestyle video. And so always look at your cell phone camera, and 90% of the time they're fantastic for what you need them to do. And they're right there in your pocket all the time, ready to capture life moments for you. So I always recommend for vloggers who are starting out using their cell phone. The second category I've already kind of talked about a little bit, and that's the action genre. Are you doing live sports? Are you doing activities that require nature? Those things are what action cams are built for. And that's why I will always recommend to you a GoPro. GoPros are phenomenal. I have one in my camera bag at all times just because they're the lightweight little things that you can throw around, beat the crap out of, and they just work. You press record and they're ready for you to go to capture the adventure that you are actively having. Action cams are fantastic. I love the GoPro so much. I have a GoPro 4 if you want a GoPro 8 so you can shoot 4K at 60 frames per second. High-speed frame rates are also a majorly important part of action cams, so make sure that the GoPro that you're grabbing isn't a super old one because they can't do as many of the frame rates as some of the newer ones can, and they're always high quality and ready to go. Now, if you want to step up your game, we're starting to get a little bit into, now you have to have some gear, the little accessories that you can put on your helmet and all sorts of stuff like that. But if you want to step it up one more, get a lightweight drone that you can have in your pocket. I recommend the DJI Spark. I used to recommend the GoPro Karma, but they don't really make that anymore, I guess. So I would recommend the DJI Spark, just so you can get those cool aerial shots of whatever adventure you're having. Immerse the people in the part of nature or the part of the utopia that you're in to make them feel more a part of the adventure that you're having. Like I said, GoPros, drones, the little accessories that GoPros typically come with, grab all those and you'll be ready to make your action videos. The studio shot, what you're watching right now in my studio, aka my bedroom. I recommend cameras that don't necessarily require ease of use or a specific situation. GoPros only can tell stories when there's a story of an adventure available. The smartphone is because it's so easy to be able to instantly capture that moment right in the moment. But when you're in a studio, you have the options to make the shot look a little bit more creative, have the time to make certain creative decisions, and that's why you should be able to have the flexibility to make those creative decisions, which is why I recommend a DSLR or mid-range mirrorless camera, because then you have interchangeable lenses, it's something you can put on a tripod, and it gives you more creative freedom within the camera in all of its settings to make whatever shots you want to make, whether it's a makeup tutorial, a tech video, murder mystery, or anything of the sort. It gives you more creative freedom because you have the time to have that creative freedom in this situation. I'm just going to call this last category the high end, because the first three main categories kind of created exactly what I wanted for like the beginner YouTuber who's, you know, making their content. High end is essentially if you're taking your content to the next level. If you want to start making short films and posting them to YouTube, or you want to do skits or something like that in the midst of your other content. This is for when you need to start getting a little bit more cinematic with your content. And for that, I would recommend a high-range DSLR like a EOS R from Canon, or even the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema series. They all have their likes and dislikes by certain people. I, for instance, am a Canon user. I love Canon's color science. That's becoming a little bit more of a niche category now because it's only slightly different from Sony's, but a lot of people like the functionality of Sony's menus and the touchscreen and all the lenses and stuff that's the Sony A7S and stuff like that are capable of. It all depends at this point what your preference is for exactly what you want to make in that high-end category, exactly like the niche story that you want to tell. Because at that point, when you get to cameras that are $1,000 to $2,000 to $3,000 to $20,000, you're trying to tell a specific story that I can no longer help you with. So at that point, I'd recommend high-end DSLRs, high-end mirrorless cameras, and the baseline cinema market, because this is technically supposed to be a budget video, so those are what I would recommend. In my opinion, it would be the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema series, because it just gives you the most out of the camera for your budget, for your buck. So I would look into those. That being said, the high-end category is kind of a mesh. You can do whatever with it. I hope this video was a little bit helpful for you guys. I had a script, I had bullet points. I don't know if I got my point across, but you can let me know in the comment section down below. If you like the video, hit a like and subscribe if you want to see more of my helpful content for becoming a creator on YouTube, or just, you know, doing camera tricks and photography and video and all sorts of stuff like that. You know what I do at this point. If you don't, subscribe and you'll learn about it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.